Hello, everybody. So today I want to share with you a video that I recently found on YouTube. I'm going to play the audio. I'm not going to show the video. I'm just going to play a little bit of it because as I was listening to this video, I noticed something, okay? And it's significant for me because when I first published Firing God, and I was going around talking to the Black non-believers group, other atheist groups at the non-duality conference, all that stuff, in the very beginning, I was very... like when I would hear talk about Christianity at all, it would really get under my skin. It really would. I wasn't trying to hear no gospel music. I ain't trying to hear nobody preaching nothing. I didn't want to hear none of that because it was like nails down a damn chalkboard. I couldn't stand it. Okay. And I wondered about that. I'm like, okay, so So I'm explaining, I just wrote a whole book, okay, about how I discovered that for me, that teaching no longer has value, okay? It had value before, it doesn't now. There's no reason for me to keep, lugging it around, so I let it go. But why does it still get on my last nerve when I hear people talking about it, or when I'm talking to somebody on the phone in my family and they bring up religion? It's like, oh my God, so I really wondered about that, and I didn't like it. I didn't like that at all. I did not like that it bothered me, because it bothering me seemed to cancel out what I'd said about it no longer having value. If it didn't have value, then girl, why the hell you so bothered? Okay. So I wondered about that. Now, when I listened to this, that I'm going to share with you in a minute, I that came back to me because this dude. So the name of the thing is non-duality is an evil teaching. This is a video on YouTube. Billy Cranston created this video 2 years ago, and he got a lot of comments and stuff like that about it, of people who totally agree, non-duality is evil and all that stuff. And so I'm listening to this, right? And I was like, there was nothing. Like, I didn't feel anything. I wasn't like offended, or it was nothing like that at all. He could have been talking about what the weather was like in Puerto Rico or something, And I thought that was really interesting, and it was great because you would think that because many people who jump from one ship onto another one, they stop investing in one thing and they start investing in something else. Okay. And in this case, namely, wouldn't I be invested in this non-dual idea just as much as I was in Christianity? And no, like, the answer is no. Like, that's not it at all. Because now, while I might have my opinions, y'all know I got opinions, a whole bunch of them, okay, about what this is and what it isn't and what I think and all. That's why the hell I got a channel, okay? So I absolutely 100% have opinions, about it, but I'm not so rooted in this thing that if anybody questions it or says anything, to degrade it, that I'm my feelings are hurt, so that's not it at all. So let me Let me read you a little bit. So this is what he says it's about. The spiritual teaching of non-duality makes it impossible to become enlightened. Cognitive dissonance cannot occupy the mind of an enlightened person. Awareness is the hallmark of those rare few throughout history that are known to be enlightened. Okay, so let me let you hear a little bit of what he says here. So I got the Bluetooth on. I hope y'all can hear it.
In the most strongest terms possible, I denounce the spiritual teaching of non-duality. I am telling you, it is a evil teaching that inhibits spiritual growth and spiritual awareness.
Now, let me tell you something. Back in the day, if somebody would have said what this dude is saying about Christianity, you know, they'd have been condemned to hell. First of all, I would have been very offended. Okay, I mean, and them saying those words would be evidence of their evil heart. And I mean, all child judgments from every direction you could think of. Okay, but hearing him talking about this, like, this is just interesting to me. Okay, it's just very interesting, you know, about, you know, what he's talking about. So, but let me tell you. So this video is not really about what he's saying. Like, I don't, you know, whatever. Everybody's entitled to, you know, what they think about whatever. Okay. And apparently, you know, if you look at the comments, a lot of people agree with him about this. But like I mentioned before, I was very interested because today I was going through Twitter. All right. And somebody posted, or somebody retweeted Donald Trump Jr.'s Instagram, where he mentioned today that his, you know, our former president, Donald Trump, had placed the first truth on his platform. So he has a platform. I guess he's creating a platform called the Truth Platform or something to compete with Twitter, because Twitter kicked him off. Okay. So now he's developing his own platform called the Truth Platform. Oh my God, the comments, I was rolling. You hear me? They were so funny. But so instead of tweeting, you send truths instead of sending a tweet. I mean, the side by side is hilarious. But anyway, I looked at that and I was like, you know what? A lie really, have y'all ever heard people say a lie don't care who tell it? Okay. A lie don't care who tell it. Well, you could say the same thing for a story. A story don't care who tell it. It doesn't. A story does not care who tells the story. All right. Why? And why is that? So if somebody's going around telling a story that non-duality is evil, Christianity is evil, what's another one? Hinduism is evil, Buddhism, whatever the hell, pick your poison. Okay. And even if they say the opposite, non-duality is good. It's you know, Christianity is wonderful. They're both stories, aren't they? Aren't they both stories? Whether it's evil, good, in the middle, put it wherever you want to put it. But as long as you put words to it, it's a story. Okay? And what's the function? What's the function of a story? Well, as far as I'm concerned, the function of a story, like what a story is for, other than explaining stuff or whatever, but the core reason, right, is to, how do you say that word? Propagate, to go on and on and on. Okay? To push forward, you know, it's like when I told somebody I was in, what's the name of that app you got to be invited? What the hell is that thing called? Clubhouse. We were talking in Clubhouse. And somebody, it was a talk about like good and evil, right? It was exactly this, a talk about good and evil. And you know, somebody made a comment to which I replied that, you know, our goal, good or evil, It don't matter. Like we try to make that distinction, but it's not real. Our goal, especially when it comes to, religions that promote the afterlife, or not even really, whatever is about afterlife, okay? All we want to do is live forever. Whether it's in heaven or hell, we don't care. Whether it's in limbo or what the hell is that thing Viking people go? All that stuff over there. Valhalla. Is that what it is? Valhalla? We just want to live forever. Okay? We don't care where. All right? The story of evil. It wants to live. Okay? A lie. Lies want to go on and on and on. Like that's what they want to do. It's like that movie Lucy. When I was telling y'all about Lucy, in the very beginning of that movie, when Morgan Freeman is talking, he's like a professor or something in that movie, and he's talking about cells. Like, and me and my boys, we had a lesson on this about how our bodies, according to science, are just individual cells. Okay. And that just, when smushed together, just look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But it's individual cells. So what he was saying at the beginning of that movie was that cells they want to do one of two things. Okay? Either live forever, or they want to, what do you call that? Give birth. It's not called give birth. It's that the more scientific thing there. So that they can live forever. Because we have kids, we're in essence living as long as our kids have kids and their kids have kids and their kids. You know what I mean? That's a way that we can accomplish this goal that we have. But listen, this ain't enough. This ain't enough, because now we got a whole afterlife. Okay? A whole story of an afterlife. Okay? Now, if that ain't, so like I said, we don't care. It could be heaven, make up something else. Whatever you want to make up, make it up. The thing is, we want to assure ourselves that we are not done. Okay? And it's funny. And it's funny because I told you guys, when I got home, the day, that I had the experience I wrote about in Firing God, I typed in my computer, already in eternity. Okay? Now, why, if you're, and like whatever that means, I don't know what the hell. Okay? Those are just the words that I put to it. But thinking about it now, right? And stories of things that are evil and stories, I think that's just like, like when you cook chicken or something, okay, and you don't put no seasoning on it, it's just bland. I mean, you could eat it, and if you're starving, it'll assuage your hunger and give you nutrients and all that, but it ain't no fun until you put some Old Bay and salt and all that stuff on. Now okay. Now we cook it with grease, okay, because you put some seasoning on it. You know what I'm saying? So, and the other day, speaking of evil and stories of evil, they have a new documentary, I think it was Netflix, about Jim Jones and Guyana, and they talk to people who were there who actually got shot, when that congressman got shot and all that. And the word evil was used a lot in that story, but the word good was too. Okay, like all of that was used. You know what I mean? But the thing is, this guy right here, I don't let y'all listen to like the first 28 seconds of it, but his whole the video is 20 minutes long. Okay, and the whole thing, he's given reasons why non-duality is evil. But if you type in evil teaching, which I did in YouTube, you'll find somebody or somebodies saying the same thing, the exact same thing about whatever it is that you believe. Okay? Now, what does that mean? For me, that would have meant, okay, they're going to hell and I'm not. That's what that would have meant. they're going to live forever, and so am I. Just in, put some spice on it, some salt on it, just in different places. Okay? Because I think that we get, when I had that story in Tales from Eternity, the you can't come in, and and I kept saying, God, can I come into heaven? And God was like, no, Cheryl, you ain't coming up in here. And I found out at the end it's because Cheryl ain't going nowhere. Cheryl can't get into heaven. Cheryl can't get into hell. Cheryl can't go to Valhalla. Cheryl can't go to purgatory, and whatever else. Cheryl can't go. Oh, okay? Because there are no individuals to go anywhere. And I think we kind of, and whatever that means, okay? But I think there are some things that we intuitively know. We're so good at self-deception and ignoring the obvious. That's our talent, in doing that, into having something right in front of our faces and the ability to blind ourselves to it. That's a talent, okay? And we got it down pat. I think that's what separates us from the animals, in fact, okay? Is that particular talent for us to do that. So, but we know, I feel like we know, we know that I already knew that Cheryl can't go anywhere without you. All right. So wherever I am, okay, if I'm in eternity, if I'm on earth, like wherever, okay, I can't go anywhere without me. How can I go anywhere without me? I try my best. Don't we try our best? I try my best to leave Cheryl behind. You know what I mean? We try, escape, child. The ways, we don't call it that. We don't call what we're doing on a day-to-day attempts to escape. That's not what we call it. But for me, I saw that's what it was. Like I was trying to, because I even said one time to somebody, I said, if Cheryl, if I wasn't here, I would enjoy life so much more. Yeah, and this was like, I hadn't even gotten into all this stuff and listening to people. It was just, it's like, whoever Cheryl is, like whoever that she is, she's, she's in the way. She's in the way. I can't even do things, because Cheryl's like, girl, move. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like that is honestly, and when I said that, they thought I had like suicidal ideation. Like that's not, that was nothing like that, okay? But it kind of was, because I wasn't thinking about physically harming myself, but what I was saying was, I realized that something feels like it's in my way, okay? And I think it's Cheryl. She's there's too many cooks in the kitchen, girl. Like we don't need all this. It don't take all this. You know what I mean? And then, like, that was really my feeling, y'all. I might sound a little weird, but so I was trying to get away from her, like, because she was just messing it up, because I was supposed to, and the question I asked was like, why the hell is life so hard? This is ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous that living is difficult. That don't even make no sense. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. That to live takes effort. You know what? It's not like I was breaking a sweat in my mother's womb trying to be born, and you know what I'm saying? That stuff was just, it was just happening. And I felt like all of life should be like that. Like I'm in the womb. And shit is just happening the way it needs to happen. And you know what I mean? It should be that easy. You know, but I felt like, you know, something is messing that up. It's getting in the way. It's trying to put all the chromosomes and genes and DNA strands and all that, you know. It's like, girl, what the hell? Get more. I feel like Cheryl was trying to do that. She's trying to take over for the intelligence that formed her in her mama's belly. You know what I mean? So that's what I, you know, that's the way it seemed to me. So when I you know, saw what the hell I was doing, seeing that you know, there was too many cooks in the kitchen. Girl, you're doing way too much. I'm gonna need you to sit down. Okay, sit down somewhere. Even that's too much. Okay, you know, which again made it funny. Like I'm tripping over my own feet. I'm tripping myself. Can you imagine? I'm walking down the street, putting one of my legs in front of the other one, tripping myself, and complaining that life is too hard. Ciao. I told y'all it was funny. Complaining that life is too hard. Crying, stressed, in and out relationships, you know, trying to read ancient books to find out, you know, what the hell, how am I supposed to live? And ooh, I mean, doing all that for what? For what? So you could live forever? Huh? I said I really needed back then. I think we all should have a mentor. I think mentors are like the most wonderful thing. Not masters, but like people who can just tell you, just come out and just tell you, you know, tell you the truth. So there was an incident, right, when I lived in Germany. Oh my God, I had a terrible time in Germany. Terrible. When I was married over there, and it was awful. So I went through this. I mean, you know how when stuff happens to you, and they got what, 7 billion people in the world, okay? According to Google, 7 billion people, but you feel like you the only one. Like nobody has ever felt as terrible and down and as you do right now. Like you're the only one. Like nobody understands what I'm going. Nobody, you know. You know, we've all felt like that at one point or another. And that's how I was in Germany. Plus, my family wasn't around. You know, it was just me and my son and my husband at the time. And child, I tell you the truth, it was the worst. The worst. So, of course, I'm still uber religious at that time, you know, and I'm praying and crying to God, and I'm listening to T.D. Jakes every day. You hear me? Every day. In the morning before, because I need something, you know, because this is not the way I was feeling. I mean, it was just terrible. It was terrible. So I went to church and I talked to the first lady to tell her, you know, what was going on, and I need prayer. And I mean, yo, I was breaking out. Like my stress was manifesting itself physically, you know. It was just that bad, you know. So I went to tell her what I was going through and what had happened and stuff, you know, and she was like, Cheryl, okay, well, let me pray. So we did a prayer. She told me what scriptures to read and all this, you know. And I was in such a terrible state that I wasn't trying to hear all that, okay. Like I didn't want to hear a scripture. I didn't want to hear none of that shit, okay. I just didn't, you know. I didn't say that, you know, and I certainly didn't. I thought it, but I never would have said it out loud back then because I was afraid, you know. Even though I knew God could read my thoughts anyway, I thought if I said it out loud or wrote it or something, it would just make it even worse. Okay, so I never said anything. So, you know, some time went by, and it was actually getting worse. It wasn't getting any better because of what the problem was. Okay, so I talked to her again, and she said, Cheryl, you know what? Let me tell you something. I know what you're going through because the same thing happened to me. When she said that, it was like it's like I was on, if I was a fuel tank, I was running on fumes when she said that. When she said that, though, I went up to like half a tank. Just her saying, Cheryl, the same thing happened to me. Number one, she was the first lady of a church. Her husband was a minister. Okay. So number one, what I was going through should not have happened to her. Okay. Because she's, he's chosen by God, which means she's chosen by God. They're more special than me. Okay. So that's number one. All right. Number two, she had she was like what a first lady is, right? Like they're very visible in the church. She was like directing the choir, and she sang beautifully. She was a pretty lady. For her to say that, just did so much for me, more than any scripture, any prayer, anything. And I knew that even at that time when I was uber religious. Okay. And that's why I said, to tell the truth about stuff, because what I needed then, like I said, I thought I was the only one. I didn't need a scripture wasn't going to do anything about that. What does something when somebody feels like they're the only one? For them to say that they're not. Okay? Misery loves company. Oh, you felt like that too? Okay. Like that's what was going on. And if she said she went through the same thing, and now I see here she is, she seems happy, like she and her husband are, they're getting along great. She's still pretty, she's still walking around, she still has a beautiful voice, and so that means then I'm gonna be all right. Okay, I said I was half a tank now. I still had a ways to go, but it wasn't this drowning, depression, that I was in. It was terrible. It was really, really horrible. But her just saying that, really, really did matter to me, in that moment. It really did. So, and there were times too that the teachings that I was under, would bring me out of a depression or feeling sad or hopeless or whatever. But the thing about that is you have to keep going back, because I mentioned before that, and this is not just about religion. Like this is everything. Okay, beliefs are not self-adhesive. Okay. They're not. If you stop telling a story, that shit gonna go away. And nobody, I'm sure many stories have stopped being told, and now where are they? And nobody knows. Nobody knows. Because they don't just go on their own. A belief, there is no belief without a believer. Okay? A story, like you need a storyteller, don't you, for that? Something has to keep going and going and going. So you got to keep going back. Whether it don't matter what you are. If you the belief is about being a good mother, you got to go back to something to feed that you're a good mom. You gonna have to. A lot of us got to make some shit up, okay, to make that good mom story live, don't we? Huh? Don't or dad, good father. Yeah, we got to keep going back, and that and imagine. I can't even imagine. I wonder if somebody's actually looked at this, at like how many stories, like how many beliefs we all, and it don't matter what it is, whether it's a belief about something being evil, being good, being right, being wrong, being not here, being one, being many, whatever it is, it don't matter. Okay. You gotta keep going back. You gotta keep going back and back and back. Okay. And I'm not saying anything is right or wrong with keep going back. Okay. But at some point, you're gonna get tired. You know, at some point, you're gonna get tired of the good mother. You're gonna get tired of the evil mother. The good dad, like whatever it is. You know, you're gonna get tired. But like I was saying before, I went into that whole spiel. I feel like at some level we know, like it's not even I feel like we know. Okay, we know what the deal is. It's like when you're what's that show that the girl on Spider-Man, she got this Euphoria. She had a show Euphoria. I haven't seen it, but I heard her talk about it, where she's like a drug addict or something. And she was talking about when you're a really good actor or actress, it's like, what is it called? Method acting is one of the things where you really become that person, you know? Like you really do. You're not just trying to convince the audience that you're a drug addict. Okay? You got to convince you. You know, and some of these people, they take it to a place where their mental health is compromised. You know, they do so well. They do so well that, you know, it affects them mentally and psychologically. So they have to actually work to come out of that, to come out of this trance that they've put themselves in, so that they believe that they're, you know, like she is, that she's a drug addict. You know, I'm telling you, it's like really good acting is hard work. It's not like just you in front of a camera and you reading some scripts or something. You know, you really putting your heart into that. I mean, so imagine, like I said, like a couple videos ago or whatever, that's what we're all doing. I mean, our heart. Tell me your heart ain't in it. It is. It is. We've jumped into this thing both feet first. Can you imagine being at the top of a cliff? You don't know. You're looking down. You don't know what the hell is down there. All you see is darkness, but you just jump feet first. I mean, tell me that's not some dedication, huh? And this is it, man. We're in here. We in here. Okay. We are in here. But there's no need for escape though, right? I don't have to like I'm still tripping over my feet and all that, but at least I know what the hell I'm doing. You know, before I did not know, okay? But now, you know, the story I'm telling myself is now I know what the hell I'm doing. Okay. Now I know what I'm doing. So I can choose to do something different if I want to. All right. Let me let you hear like another 30 seconds of this dude right here. Now, y'all, listen. His name, Billy Cranston. Go to this video, Non-Duality is an Evil Teaching. This dude right here, this video is like it's like, you know, when something tragic happens, you know, like a terrible shooting or something like that, or you know, like a Unabomber type thing, and you know, all these people are you know, tragically injured or dead, and then they find the video of the dude who did it. It's all grainy and dark, and he and that talking about, you know, some weird belief he has about something, you know, which is the reason why he just destroyed a whole bunch of people. This video looked like that video they found. Okay, a child. Listen, I'm telling you, go look at the video. See what I'm saying. This video looks like that thing they found in that house back there in the woods. You know, that he made with a homemade camera. I'm telling you. I looked at this thing. I'm like, oh my God, oh my goodness. Anyway, but let me let you hear a couple more seconds of this, okay?
think for 1 minute, if you were on the path to becoming enlightened, or what is the point and purpose of your desire to seek out the guru?
All right, that's all I can take. Y'all, he talks so slow, I can't. But go ahead. Again, it's called Billy Cranston, Non-Duality is an Evil Teaching, if you're interested in him, what he has to say. It's about 20 minutes long. And it's interesting. Like, it is interesting. It's interesting. But, so evil teachings, good teachings, whatever. Okay, so we all have our experiences, and but the bottom line is we're only seeing partly. We're not seeing the whole picture. Okay, I put something on link. So how can it be evil? How can it be good? We don't see the whole picture. How can it be right or true or anything like that? I put on LinkedIn today because I'm making my baby's lesson plans and stuff, right? But I found a really cool quote on this because I was on a page that had it had links to the world's newspapers, right? Because I use the Washington Post and all to find current events and all that, but I wanted to go outside of the United States. So the quote that they had on that page, it said, the most dangerous worldview is a worldview that's never seen the world. Okay, which I really like that, because I do want my kids to not just read about things that happen, but I want them to actually go there at some point when we're able to do that. Because when I was in the military and I went to Germany and I effed that whole thing up, because I didn't appreciate it, because I went over there, I was younger, number one, and number two, I'm American, and you know how we are. I was an arrogant ass American over there, okay, and Germany has so many other countries near it, you know what I mean? So we went all over the place, but I never was able to appreciate the things that were there because my arrogance got in the way. Look, I expected people in a whole nother country, okay, to speak English, and I was upset if they didn't. Come on now, how arrogant is that? And thinking back to that, I'm like, girl, you just, sad, okay? So I feel like I really I was over there for 3 years, and I messed that whole time up, child, because of my American ways. But anyway, I want them to do that. but even when they do that, And I don't believe. Well, I don't know, child. I don't know, but at no point do we just know everything. It's like I said about the weather the other day, because over here it was nice. It was real nice today, But somebody else under the same sky I'm under would be like, today was terrible. I don't have the information they have, the feelings they have, the emotions, the experiences, the history, all that stuff that they have. So I don't know the whole story. Okay? Every time I say, every word coming out of my mouth right now is a judgment. Okay? That's been filtered and all kind of stuff. All right? So how could it be complete? How can I say that this is evil or good or right or wrong or whatever, But what I am, like, the reason why I made this video anyway was because, before, when I would hear somebody say something, especially about Christianity or the earth being round, or or whatever, something that I strongly believed and I felt was true, because probably because somebody else in authority told me it was, not because I had any proof whatsoever. You know how that goes. I felt attacked. I'm like, okay, I have the truth here, and by you not believing what I do, that means you're attacking me. Okay, so now I need to defend myself. And sometimes it's by any means necessary. It's not you're attacking my belief, or you're attacking my story, or you're attacking my, my idea. No, you're attacking me. Because where I felt that all up and through my body. You know how we do when we feel offended. That stuff, it hits you, doesn't it? That thing about sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. That's a lie. That's a damn lie. Words gonna hurt the hell out of you. They need to change that. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words gonna hurt the hell out of you. Okay, that's what it need to be now. Cause for real though, which is the reason why we do a lot of the stuff that we do. We do a lot of the stuff that we do because we feel attacked. We feel attacked because beliefs aren't just things floating out there in the air or whatever. No, that's me. It's me. Like I'm built of that. Like it's in my, like that Cheryl that I told y'all, that I said in the beginning. I'm like, life would be so much easier if she wasn't here. That's what that is. All them things I done built up like Lego blocks. Okay. All right. All of that. So yeah, that stuff hurts. It absolutely does. Until it doesn't. So I can listen. I can listen to TD Jakes. I still have gospel songs on my playlist. Okay, and I'll sing them till I get hoarse. I love gospel music. I absolutely do. I love it. I grew up on it. I love it. I just don't invest my whole life, and I don't use everything around me, to prove that investment. I told somebody the other day, because about my kids, how when I was, I'm very different with my boys now than I was with my older two, okay, who are in their 20s now. Because they were my kids, and I love them and all that stuff, but child, more than anything, they were tools. I had a mission. I had somewhere to go. I'm trying to get to heaven, okay? And everything I can use to get there, I'm going to use it. And my kids were just two tools that I had to help me get to where I wanted to go. Okay? Yes, they were. They absolutely were. So, and now, my two oldest, they see how I am with my two youngest, and like, oh my god, like they be like, y'all so lucky. I mean, because I don't have anything to prove anymore. I really, back then I did. It's not only other people who needed evidence that I was a Christian and a good mom and a woman and all this other stuff I had going on, I didn't just have to prove it to other people, I had to prove it to me. I needed proof, okay, that I was all those things. So I'm looking around, what the hell can I use around here to prove it? Be it a man, my siblings, people on my social media page, like what can I use? Okay, because that's all that was about. Gathering evidence that Cheryl is who she said she is. Okay. Which was exhausting. I'm telling you. Ooh, Lord, exhausting. All right, I've been talking to y'all for a long time now. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and those of you listening to the replay. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. I really enjoy coming on here and talking to you all, and I love your comments too. So please keep continuing to comment. I really do appreciate you. So I'm going to see y'all back here very soon. Have a good night, okay? Bye-bye.